So, regular listeners of Chaos Radio will know that I've been teasing a very special interview over the last couple of weeks. I feel like I've got the best job today because I get to introduce our guest today and have a nice little chat with the frontman of the legendary American rock band Wheatus. It's Brendan. Hello, Brendan.
Hello, how are you?
I'm very good. Thank you so much for chatting with us today.
No worries. Thanks for having me.
Now, I know you guys have got a pretty manic schedule, so the fact that we can even squeeze us in is...
Great. I mean, it's been so crazy. There's 47 dates. I think 35 of them are sold out at this point.
Wow.
But here we are in beautiful Falmouth.
We are. We're in Falmouth. So you're in Cornwall. Firstly, welcome to Cornwall.
Yes, thank you.
How's it feel? Is this first time or have you guys been
No,
before?
many times we've been. We've played places like Perranporth, Newquay before, many times.
Yeah.
I don't remember ever playing Falmouth before, but that could be just because I've been on the road for 23 years.
Yeah. True.
So, yeah.
So you in your current tour, you're doing your dates. You've done a Perranporth date, playing on the beach, which feels very Cornish in itself.
Extremely Cornish, yeah, behavior.
Yeah. How are you finding life on the road so far?
This one has been interesting, uniquely challenging, but better than all the others.
Yeah?
I would say that, yeah. I would say that, coming back, we haven't been here for 4.5 years. So the pandemic really put the brakes on something that we had done every year, which was to come over. We either came over here once or twice a year, sometimes 3, from the year 2001 until 2019. Wow. We never skipped. And it was so strange to suddenly not be planning to go to the UK. It just didn't make any sense. So we thought, well, what can we do if we have to take a break? What can we do to make things better when we do go back? And we worked on some stuff. And one of the things we came up with was, we've done all request sets before, but we've never learned so many songs that you could pick almost any from any album. So we went for that, and we learned and rehearsed 63 songs.
Wow.
So so that's what we did with our pandemic time.
You were some busy people.
yeah. And so now it's still an all request set. I walk out about 5 minutes early, and I ask everybody in the front or in the first few rows what they want to hear first. What's the first song? What are we starting with? And I'll say, good, okay, we'll take that one. Thank you. Now you guys all think about what the one after that one is, because we don't have a set list. It's on you. So
that's mad.
Yeah, and it's worked so well. It's so much fun.
Yeah, that adds a whole different level to, your artistry as well. That's really cool. I like that.
Yeah.
I like it a lot. Now, I thought you guys probably do so many interviews, you probably get so bored of being asked the same question. So I thought we'd switch things up a little bit today. We will, of course, we'll have a little general chat about your career over the years anyway, but I thought we'd end the interview as well a little bit later by having a little bit of a Cornish quiz.
Okay.
I thought I would test some of your knowledge on some famous Cornish phrases.
Okay.
Which is going to...
I don't know any Cornish
language
words.
I'm going to tell you.
Wow.
Yeah, and we're gonna have some fun with it, and there's a prize for you at the end as well.
Okay.
I've got a little surprise up my sleeve. All right.
Right.
But first, we need to talk about your amazing career. The fact that you guys, you started in the 90s and you're still going strong. Did you ever imagine, being one of the original founding members, that you'd still be going in this day and age?
No. All the way back to when I was 10 years old, I thought to myself, watching Angus Young on television, if I can do that, if I can do any version of that, I'll be happy. It'll be okay. Life will be fine, So here we are doing it, and it just felt like a dream, and some ways it still does. So we don't get used to it. That's one of the things that's happened and kept us, I think, in a better place. We never got used to being successful. There was always something that came up where we were like, might have to go back to day jobs again, and it's always been like that. So we, over the years, have built a tolerance to stardom that we still use. So we don't feel like our heads are in the clouds ever, you know.
love that.
Now, of course, after all that's happened with Teenage Dirtbag and with the first album and with our other albums, we don't think so much about having to hang it up anymore. It's much more sustainable now, luckily. But somehow that hasn't changed the way we view it. We still feel that it's very fragile, and we work hard to make sure that it's something special and not phone it in or expect more from people who come to see us than we should, you know.
Yeah, well, it's your little baby, isn't it? It is.
Yeah.
And there's 6 of you, isn't there, in the band, which is
sometimes 7 and sometimes even 8,
which is quite big numbers for
it
a band.
is.
You know, your standard bands these days generally, 3 to 4 members maybe.
Sure.
How do you find that being a band? Because that's a lot of personalities in one tour bus.
6 personalities in a tour bus. Well, it's more than that because we have a crew who we've been working with for a long time, so they're members of the family as well. But the answer is that we were looking out for each other all the time. We've been through a lot together, been through some tough tours, some tough incidents, and we work hard to keep each other's best interests at heart, keep each other's happiness in mind, so that we're all glad we came, that kind of thing.
Yeah, it's family vibe. I like it.
Family vibes, definitely.
We like it. Let's talk like career highlights. Is there anything that really stands out as a moment for you?
There are so many, it would be hard to list them. There are some that are notable because of who else they were with. We opened for James Brown one time, back in 2001. The only time Wheatus ever played CBGB's was opening for Joey Ramone and Ronnie Spector. About a year before the club closed and before Joey died. And I think that over the years we've had these moments where we've thought, well, that was a good one. Nothing like that will ever happen again. But it kind of does. And that's another thing we're trying not to get used to. Most recently, in May of 2023, we were booked to play a festival in New Jersey called Adjacent Festival. Now, this is a big name festival, right? This is not something we typically get invited to do. And so there was Coheed and Cambria was on the bill, one of my favorite bands, and Paramore was headlining, and Blink-182 was headlining, and like all these fantastic acts. Jeff Rosenstock was on the bill. And we were in this place where we thought, wasn't that nice of them to invite us to do this thing? We're probably first on the bill. This is cool, right? Well, as time approached, they wouldn't tell us where we were on the lineup. And about 48 hours before the festival, they told us that we were on the opposite stage, direct support to Paramore.
Wow.
And we kind of went, whoa, like how did this happen, Are they sure they have the right W band? But they did. They intended for us to play that slot, and we did play it on the beach just after the sun had set in New Jersey in the springtime with the seagulls coming in and the sea mist blowing. And we did initially think, well, we may have a few hundred people, but they'll all be waiting for Paramore to play on the other side. And I was wrong. The whole entire festival was there. Thousands and thousands of people just watching us play. And
incredible.
We had a fantastic set. We did a really good job, if I may say so myself. And we just loved it. It just went off. It was fantastic. And then I ran and found my nieces and nephews and brought them to the Paramore stage.
Oh.
So, yeah, it was good. It was
that
good.
sounds like a highlight,
So that's one of those, like, I can't believe this is happening,
So you mentioned some pretty cool bands there already. If you could collaborate with any band or artist in the current charts, if you could add a 100th member to Wheatus, who would it be?
I have to confess I'm not currently paying a lot of attention to the charts. That's bad. I should pay more attention. But, I have a real soft spot for anybody who's not doing some, like, 100 Gex. You ever heard of 100 Gex?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, check them out. They're pretty cool. I would collab with them. Phoebe Bridgers, anytime. Any member of Boy Genius, I would collab with in a second.
Yeah.
Even if they told me to play kazoo standing on my head, I would do it. But, oh boy, going back all the way, Willie Nelson would be a dream come true. There's so many. It's hard to mention. There's an American hip hop artist called Fat Tony, who we toured with last year, and he's a genius. And I would jump on any record he told me to jump on. Yeah, I like that. Is that Mega Ran's another one. MC Frontalot's a friend. SZA did a cover of Teenage Dirtbag.
Oh, wow.
And that was really cool, and I would do anything she told me to do. So
amazing.
there's lots of artists, lots of artists.
We've got options. That's what we like to see.
Right.
We have to talk about Teenage Dirtbag. Obviously, it's iconic within our generation. That's the song that I grew up with. Being a 90s baby myself, I
Right.
love it. Love it. And I wanted to ask you now, and I need your answer to be as PG as possible for radio,
Okay.
please. What is the most dirtbag thing you remember doing as a teenager?
Oof.
Because I'll give you an example here. We have a very famous rule here in the UK. I don't know if it's the same in New York, but we have a thing called the 10-second rule, where if you drop a bit of food on the floor, you've got 10 seconds to pick that up, and it's still acceptable to eat. Any more than 10 seconds, that is unacceptable.
It's funny you mentioned that, because just this very morning, while sitting eating our breakfast over there, we discussed 2 incidents involving pizza that I personally perpetrated in front of my bandmates. One of them was really bad. So this is recent. This isn't when I was young.
Okay, I'll take it.
So we were in Gabrielle, my partner, her friend lives in Washington Heights, up in Upper Manhattan. And we were there at night. It was the middle of the winter, and the streets were covered with salt and sand and from the snow and whatever else, And real gritty New York City night. Everything's wet. Everything's gritty, salty. And I had finally got my pizza, after driving through traffic. And we were standing there on the corner in our big winter coats, eating these wonderful slices of New York pizza made by a friend of mine. My neighbor Manny owns this exclusive pizza place up on 181st Street in Washington Heights. So I was kind of like really enjoying this proper New York pizza. And the wind came and just took one of my slices right off the plate, face down on the salty sidewalk, Sand and grit, all of what New York City's winter sidewalk would have, I picked that thing up and I ate it.
As you should.
That was raw New York City style, eat that pizza moment, and I just took it,
Okay, you heard it here first. Brendan is a dirtbag officially. You've heard it here first. Okay, so I said to you at the beginning of this interview, we would end on some famous Cornish phrases. I would test your knowledge. I'm going to read you out a couple of traditional Cornish sayings or phrases.
Okay.
And I would love to hear your guesses of what you think they actually mean.
Right, okay.
And then I'll tell you the correct answer.
Okay.
So we'll start off with a Cornish phrase, which we like to use here, called dreckly.
Dreckly.
Dreckly. What do you think dreckly means?
Perhaps it refers to the weather being not so nice. I would guess.
Okay.
Ignorantly guess at you would say something about like, "Ooh, it's dreckly out today."
Okay, I like the guess. I
Yeah.
appreciate the guess. So dreckly is in fact a way of us saying we'll do it later or soon.
Oh, okay.
Do it directly.
Okay.
All right.
It's almost like directly.
Almost.
Is it
like
rooted in the same root word?
we can take that.
Yeah.
Why not?
We got to get out our Latin textbooks and figure it out.
Okay. Next phrase. Proper job.
Oh, well, that's kind of easy. Is that even Cornish?
What do you think?
Well,
What's
I
proper
think
job?
I think you would use that to describe somebody who's perhaps arrogant,
Oh.
or you would use that to describe somebody who really is good at what they do.
Yeah, I'll give you that one. We
Okay.
use proper job as a way of like, well done, like
Okay.
good job,
Okay.
proper job.
Right.
Yeah,
So I thought I was took it as you were describing someone as a proper job.
right.
Right.
Okay, no, not doing too bad. Not doing.
All right.
Okay, do you know what taties are?
Taties.
Taties.
I can only assume that they're potatoes.
Correct.
Okay, that's easy.
Correct. Well done. I like
Because in
it.
the States we have tater tots, you know.
Of course.
Sure, you have them here in
Yes,
some form or another.
we do.
Right.
We do. Okay, we'll have a couple more.
Okay.
Do you know what pard means?
Pard.
Pard.
P-A-R-E-D.
P-A-R-D.
Pard. Does it mean skint?
I like the guess. So a pard, we would say, is another individual, a friend. You know, you'd say,
Oh.
all right, me pard.
Oh, me
Some-
mate. Okay.
yeah, your mate.
Got it.
Your
Got
mate.
it. Okay.
Okay, and last but
I'm
not
learning.
least, me handsome.
Miansum. Is that something that somebody would say about their mate, like their partner?
I mean, technically we could.
Right.
We could. We
I would say to Gabrielle, she's miansum.
me handsome.
Right.
We'd say, all right, me handsome. It's like kind of like, all right, my love.
It's like, all right, treacle.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Brilliant. Well, I'm not gonna lie, you did a lot better than I thought you would.
Okay.
So I'll give you a round of applause for that one. Well done.
Thank you. Here's my round of applause.
There we go.
you.
Amazing. Last but not least, I want to sort of give you the opportunity to plug. You guys are still on tour. I
Yeah.
know there's the majority of your shows are sold out now, but you know, if people still want to get tickets, where can they find you, follow you, and all that good stuff?
Wheatus.com/shows is the quickest way to get any remaining tickets. There are not many left. I think numbers-wise, there are maybe only 4 or 5 shows worth of tickets left out there. But go to Wheatus.com/shows and see if you can get your hands on some tickets still. Because 47-date tour is not something you're going to see every day.
No.
So, you know, maybe if for a minute, and we're not sure how it's going to play out. You know, when we came back, we had a bunch of unanswered questions, and a lot of them are still up in the air. So we're going to figure out how to do this again. But come see us now. We're here now.
Amazing. Thank you so much for talking to us. And I also did say at the start of the interview that I had a little gift for you, like a surprise if you did well on my quiz.
Okay.
Which I have in fact got here in my bag now. Seeing as you smashed the quiz, I've brought you a proper Cornish pasty.
Oh, wow. I've heard all about this and not had an opportunity to go do it. Okay. Thank you, Ross.
I was going to
Wow.
say, have you not had one of these
No,
yet?
no, not
Wow.
properly, no.
Okay, this is a very famous traditional delicacy, shall we say.
What does it have in it?
It is steak and potato.
Okay. Oh, Gabrielle's going to love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it is an absolute classic, and you can't come to Cornwall without one. So I'll give that one to you in a minute.
Thank you,
All
Ross.
right. Thank you so much for speaking with us.
Thank you, Ross. Thanks for having me on, guys. We
Good luck
really appreciate
with the rest of the tour. Big thank you to Brendan for having a chat with us there. If you'd like to check out his exclusive performance of Teenage Dirtbag, an acoustic version just for us here at Chaos Radio, be sure to check out our YouTube channel.